left-wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat.
Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito was recently caught on tape saying America needs to return to a place of godliness.
Here we go.
This statement by a member of the Supreme Court flies right in the face of one of our pillars of democracy and the cornerstone of our society, the separation of church and state. But is this principle really vital to our government? We're going to go ahead and explore our 5 arguments for separating church and state. The first one is preserving religious freedom. So the separation of church and state ensures that there isn't an official religion of the United States. Why is this important, Walanda?
Obviously is a fundamental principle in a democratic society. We do understand that. So everybody screams freedoms, right? So we don't want to favor or endorse a specific religion. We have various religions. We got Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, you know, I can keep going and going and going and going on there. But that is just basically to allow, right, we speak about freedoms. We can't just endorse one. So it keeps you that separation there. And then, of course, to prevent government overreach. You know, we don't want our government telling us or being influenced by religious things. We all know history, right? Or at least we should know that a lot of wars have stemmed from religious or argument in religion as well. So just some of those. And of course, promotion of equality. Okay, we talk about equality and we talk about freedoms all the time. So people have the freedom and the right to believe what they want to. And government shouldn't be overreaching or being intrusive on anybody's personal beliefs.
Yeah, people are okay when those freedoms are their freedoms. They just don't respect other people's freedoms. And that's kind of where this comes into play. But I'm going to touch on that history part because that's where I was coming from with it. Like, yeah, we tried that already. We tried Kingz already. We tried where religion was in government and it was very corrupt. Spanish Inquisition, where they just started killing people because they didn't believe. We don't want to talk about the religious persecution that created America, why the Pilgrims came over here because they were being persecuted because they weren't part of their Church of England, where the king made up his own damn church because he wanted to get a divorce and he didn't want to go by what the church said, and they had political power. So everything that you're talking about when it comes to religion and state, there's a reason why we separated that. Let's talk about the Crusades. Christian Europe just decided, hey, we want Jerusalem back. You know what I'm saying? And we don't like the Muslims. And they went over there and they had wars with the Muslims for hundreds of years. We can go back, completely back in history, in world history, and see why that doesn't work. So we come to America where we have freedom of religion. And all of a sudden, we have another religion that's trying to influence politics, which, in a certain party went in and, for political or religious reasons, banning abortion. That's the argument, right? It goes against religion. You know what I mean? And we see how that's working out, how that's dividing the country. It just don't work, bruh. Because why? What I believe and you believe may be 2 different things. Doesn't mean we're wrong. I just have a different belief. I may worship a different way. I'm not a bad person. Most religion is based on morals. I'm not a Muslim, but they seem like pretty moral people. They have pretty moral. I'm not a Mormon, but they're pretty moral. Yeah, they got multiple wives, but they're morally standard. I don't hear anything bad about, really like just Mormons just going crazy, So religion in a moral aspect kind of plays, but your beliefs might be my beliefs politically, and we need to have a discussion about that. Right. That's why state is separated from it. That's the basic breakdown for it. Now we got Christian nationals, which they use that term Christian very loosely. You know what I'm saying? And even though I'm Christian, their morals aren't my morals. They have different thoughts, different ways of doing that, doing things, and they're influencing politics a lot. That's not good. That's not good at all. You know what I'm saying? Because they're now forcing their beliefs on a lot of people. So that's important in the church and state. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it.
Yeah.
I was just saying clear boundaries, because they should not be wielding or being able to influence politically. And we know we see that every day. I think that's why we have so many conversations now. And again, and some people who say are devout Christians, they're not very Christian-like, I would say that. So I guess there's obviously different branches or degrees of Christianity, because a lot of things that come out of some of their mouths and their actions are actually completely opposite of what a Christian would believe.
Yeah, some people walk the Christian life. Some people twist the Christian life to fit their lifestyle.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's it. And then some people don't believe in God at all. What do you do with these people?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So when we talk about these arguments, the second argument for separating church and state is preventing religious coercion. So when government and religion are intertwined, there's a risk that the state could force some religious ideals and practices on citizens. So what's the danger in that, Ace?
I think we're sitting here, the example is a danger in that. Slavery was based on religious practices that were funded by the state. They passed laws based on religion that was based off the Bible that created slavery and justified slavery. So everybody sitting at this table is an example of when that goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? That coercion. You know, it's people that still got laws on the books right now that are stating how slavery was legal and all of that good stuff, and you know, and mixing of the races was wrong and all of that stuff based on biblical context. Because at the end of the day, man writes their laws based off of, you know, religious laws fundamentally, you know, is where they come from. Thou shalt not kill. We write our murder statute behind that. You know what I'm saying? That's what we justify behind things that simple. But then a lot of people are going to that Bible and twist it also, especially when it came to slavery. They did that, taught us that out the book, wouldn't allow us to read it ourselves, stuff like that. So yeah, coercion can go real far. Once again, there's a reason why you want to separate church and state. Sometimes it gives people bullshit reasons to do bad things. You know what I'm saying? So
Definitely agree. We should focus on secular governance. So like you said, like generally we have specific values, right? Thou shalt not kill. Okay. Things of that nature. But other than that, it should be on practical considerations and not your religious views. Just to bring in light of what we're talking about, like right now in the Texas Education Agency, that's your TEA that governs for the state as far as curriculum that goes into your schools. In elementary, they're actually trying to push Christian values and biblical responses. And again, how do you feel about that? How do I tell my Muslim child that, you know, well, we're going to learn Christian stuff today because that's actually in our curriculum. And what the state is actually doing is they're dangling a carrot in front of a lot of these districts saying, hey, we'll pay you more money, $6 per pupil. So just do the math on that if you put this curriculum into play. So if it passes, your kids are going to be forced to learn some biblical information, I guess. And again, that's personal. You know, we all have different views and value systems. And we know that in school systems, we have diversity and we need to accept that and applaud it. And you don't force your views on somebody else. Like they want to accept it, great. That's why we go to church on Sunday or choose not to go to church on Sunday or whatever you choose to do. But just know that it is actually playing a big part here in the state of Texas and what's happening. So it's important.
Yeah, extremely important. And another thing that's extremely important is clicking on that like button. All right. So if you're enjoying this content, please make sure that you like this video. And if you'd like to see more conversations like this, make sure that you subscribe to Left Wing Kingz and share this content on all of your social media platforms.
do that.
All right. So let's talk about argument number 3 for separating church and state. And it's promoting respect and diversity. So
there's that word again.
Here we go. Diversity. So a secular government allows for a multitude of faiths and beliefs to coexist peacefully. Ace, is it important nowadays to foster a society that values diversity?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it's some people that don't because they think diversity means they're not included. Diversity just means everybody else is also included and it's important. So yeah, it's very important, man. Like I said, you know, it's funny, man. Right before this show, I think it was yesterday, I saw a clip of I think it might have got sent to us, but it was with Colin Powell talking about when Obama was in office and how they were talking about he's a Muslim and blah, blah, blah. And Colin's house take was, what if he was a Muslim? And he's talked about a young man that went to the Iraq war and died. Mom was crying over his cemetery stone, and he was a Muslim. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people die for this country, man. It's just not one set of people. I don't know why people believe that, but, you know, well, I know why, because, you know, for a long time, media and Hollywood and all that pushed that narrative, you know. But a lot of people, man, died, and they had different religions and different backgrounds and things like that. Who are you to not who say that they can't be proud of that, and they have to act a certain way or do a certain way that things are done? Like, everybody doesn't have to be a Christian here to love this country. Everybody doesn't have to be in the same culture to love this country. So that's where diversity comes into play and why it's important. So when you go after DEI projects and things of that nature, and you're thinking you're doing it for the best of the country because you're thinking you're keeping America great, you're actually taking us back, because any civilized country now, and the problem is, if you go back in time, they've always been diverse. America, any country, England, wherever you want to go in time, Jerusalem, back when Jesus was walking around, there are always multitude of races of people around when you're in a civilized country. So why diversity doesn't come into play, I have no idea. And why we're in a modern world and we're still talking about something that's been happening for centuries, man. Like, why diversity is such an issue in 2024, when Rome was out, they had diverse population then, you know what I'm saying? And just dealt with it the way they did. I mean, they fed Christians to lions and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe their DEI program wasn't that good.
The DEI didn't work.
But 2024, we're still having a conversation about separating church and state and DEI, when everything we talking about through the time has been tested to this point that we shouldn't even be having this conversation anymore. You're bringing up shit that we've proved that didn't work, and that's why we moved away from that. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why. We got documentation. We got, shit. George Washington fought a war over that shit. Mm-hmm. That was well over damn near 300 years ago. Y'all are still trying to have that conversation and bring it up. And, Crispus Attucks was the first person to die in the Revolutionary War. He's a black guy. It was pretty diverse back then. You had free black people. You had slavery black people. You had all kinds of ethnic, Caucasian people here. You had Native Americans. You had Spaniards. You had, all kinds of stuff here. And we're still talking about diversity? Really?
Yeah. Promotion of equality. Again, just the natural stance on a religion should be, you should treat all your citizens the same way, regardless of their religious beliefs. Again, if we look at historical things, like you said, all these wars that happened based upon people just having different views. I don't know why in 2024 we're still having this constant conversation over and over again about embracing people's differences. We are not monoliths, meaning we're not all the same, whether ethnicity or education or religion, but if you go back and look at, even in your workplace, people are different and we're accepting, right? We still get the job done. We still work together amongst each other. It's just really sad that we still are having conversations based upon differences. I feel like I'm almost stepping 20, 30, 40, years back.
You going further than that?
Right. Well, yeah, further than that. Let's see. But not too far, because, even the 60s, 50s, we still, and it's reading people's comments. I've been really big on just going on social media and just reading things that people say. And I'm just, my eyes pop open, and they'll claim that I'm a Christian and this and that. And I'm like, you just said, that don't seem real Christian. Like, what would Jesus say? I feel like we didn't put that. What would Jesus do? We need to bring that phrase back. What would Jesus do if they saw you? So,
not my Jesus.
Again, just accepting the fact that we are all different. And that's what makes this country, right, great. Again, is that what we're supposed to say? Like, it makes this country great for being able to embrace all the newness and differences and be accepting. But I just feel like, I don't know, something's happened to us.
Yeah, something's happened where I think that we're starting to not care about people or organizations having integrity. And that's actually argument number 4 for separating church and state, religious integrity. So religious organizations need to separate themselves from the government to retain and maintain autonomy and integrity. Right. So, Walanda, do religions still need to have integrity?
Of course, because integrity should be what's in the fabric of making you who you are. Because integrity means like doing what's right when no one's looking. You should be doing the right thing all the time. I would think the principles of religion, right, and that the biggest part of religion, that's why they want to talk about and supposedly bring it back to schools, like our kids and their character, and that actually raises you and making you who you are on your morals and beliefs. Like we should have fundamental things that we say, you should be kind, right? And I think we should all be able to define what the word kind means. You should not kill, right? We shouldn't murder people. I think those fundamental things, I think with the integrity, I think we all need to still have. Now, I'm starting to doubt that, though. I don't think people really understand and define what integrity is anymore. That's the problem. They think they scream out, I'm a Christian. I'm like, but you're not following Christian values. And Christian values are really pretty simple. Be kind, treat others as you like to be treated. Love your neighbor. But we only love people when we believe the things that they believe, or they're similar to us in nature, whether it's physical or on a religious standpoint. So I think we're missing a lot of those great teachings. Otherwise, I would be for it too, if that's what we were teaching, but that's not what's happening a lot of times. So yeah, integrity should be who we are. And you should want a president or anybody else running the country who actually exhibits that. And I feel like, in essence, we are going the opposite direction with some of us, how we view some of our candidates, I guess.
And through the test of time, nobody's agreed on religion, period, plain and simple. I mean, and it's just such a vast work that nobody ever will. And that's the problem with religion and trying to put it in charge of a company. Because just because I'm saying everything is right don't mean that you agree that everything is right. And it's kind of hard for me to judge your lifestyle and say, all right, well, you're not part of this religion, so there's something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? That's where this world's getting back to. But they forgot that we did that for centuries. It just didn't work. There's no one religion that everybody agrees on. And there's no one religion that's above anybody else's. You know what I'm saying? Some people believe in Allah. Some people believe in Jesus. Some people believe in Buddha. They all got stories. So once again, they're still fabricated in morality and basically doing unto others as you done unto you. Just a basic common thought. But where we get in disagreement is when you come and tell me I got to live this way or that way. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like the homeowners association. I might not want to paint my fucking fence, or I might want to paint my fence and I can't, but you're telling me, you're intrusive, and nobody likes homeowner associations. But nobody's gonna also like religion telling you what you need to do. Then on top of it, it had influence. That's why they took the power away from the Pope. The Pope was just sending people at war. And you know what? They're not Christian, man. Go attack that country and make them Christian. That's basically what they were doing. That's how they did America. That's how they did Africa. You know what I'm saying? Colonized it on religion, on the fact that we're the better people. We got morals. They're uncivilized. Go kill them all, take their land. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds real Christian-like, huh?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the Native Americans here. It was funny. I was looking at a movie clip a couple of days ago, and it was funny. It was talking about when the Native Americans sat down with the U.S. government, and the U.S. government was convincing them that they needed to move the reservations. And they kept telling them, well, you don't own this land no more. They said, I don't own this land. This has been my land for centuries.
I love you.
Saying, by the law, U.S. government, you don't own this land. How crazy is that? That, you know what I'm saying?
How you did like that goes back to that joke. I forget who it was. It was people came over here and said they discovered America.
Yeah.
How you discover a place where there was already people at?
There was already people there.
There was already people here. You ain't discovered nothing. You just claim it.
Yeah. Then you wrote laws and told them they had to move. And I'm gonna move you to this little piece of crap land so I can have all your good land. But you're already here.
Yeah,
that was based on religion, man.
Oh, and those were Christians, remember?
That was Christian, and so that's why I'm saying we know that Christianity, I'm better than you, bullshit don't work because Jesus didn't build it that way anyway.
I want to get back to kind of the integrity part of the conversation real quick because, I kind of talked about in the build-up, religious organizations need to be separate from the government so that they can have integrity, which means they are doing things within the scope of their religion without having to worry about the government stepping in and saying what they can and can't do. And when you look at the definition of the word integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, right? And when I think about that, and I think about the question I asked Walanda, like, do religions still need to have integrity? I start thinking about what I hear a lot of. I don't know if it's white Christian nationals. I don't know who it is, but people who claim to be evangelical in some way, shape, or form, accepting behavior that's bad while saying that they're Christians and they're upright and they have, and that's not integrity to me.
No.
To me, I don't think that as we move forward, I think we're losing a lot of our religious integrity because it doesn't matter anymore. You're not honest and you're not upright and you don't have moral values if you're accepting. I have seen people put up things like Trump is Jesus and stuff like that. Like, you're not even supposed to have false idols.
False idol.
You know what I'm saying?
Moses told her that.
All of these things are like, your religious integrity is out the window. Like, there's no alignment to the religion that you're claiming and the actions that you are supporting. So at the end of the day, just to kind of get my spin on it, I feel like religious integrity is just gone. But that leads to our last argument against or argument for separating church and state. And that's number 5, which is ensuring equal treatment. So I think you kind of touched on that one, Walanda.
I already did.
You know, without the separation of church and state, government policies could unfairly favor citizens who practice one religion over another.
Yeah.
So are we already kind of doing that? I think you already touched on that. We already really favoring one religion over other religions.
Yeah. You're already saying, you always hear about Christianity and, you know, what they call them Christian nationals. I mean, that's all we talk about in regards to influence. And they should not be influenced any type of political decision making. That is not the purpose.
Alito said, we need to get back to godliness.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Oh, he need to go back to church.
Right.
He first and foremost. But I know what that basically I think that's him basing a lot of laws and decisions on, you know, on religion, but what he believes in and what other people believe.
What is his religion? Like, when he says godliness, just because if you say, hey, we need to get back to godliness, that could be Allah, that could be Yahweh, that could be whoever. But in his mind, is he saying like Jesus?
I think when people say that, certain people say that, they're saying that based on Christianity, but their form of Christianity, which goes back to, you know, more recent things. It was based more on, because like Christianity, if you talk about back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, was very white, was very, you know, backed a lot of segregation and all that kind of stuff. And I think when he says that, he's going back, that's what he's going back to when he was earlier, when he was younger, and the life that he remembered back then, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, it's just, you just got to be careful with this religious thing, man. And I just think that it's, you know, we all know America is mainly based in Christianity. You got different forms of Christianity, including Catholicism, which, you got Protestants, you got Catholics, and it's all kind of formulated around Christianity. Then you got some Muslims and Buddhists and stuff like that. But we know most people have some form of Christianity when they start talking religion. You know what I'm saying? Who's is right, who's is wrong, we don't know. But that was a cool thing about this country, that, you know, we were under the idea that we didn't have to deal with that. But with this push of really trying to put their form of Christianity in play is just nuts. You know, like I said, it's nuts, especially when it comes to things like abortion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people really tried to push that on there and tried to base it on a Christian background, which I think is bullshit.
I think that we're already treating religions differently in our country. To your point, there's I guess like the main base religion in America is Christianity, but at the end of the day, we already have a stigma against Muslims, Jewish people. There's religions out there who we and even in some cases, some people might say that Jewish people get treated better than Christians, right? So I think equal treatment is why we separate church and state, to give each religion the opportunity to stand on its own and be respected. But I think, to the point of the question that I asked, I think we already treating some religions worse than others. Like, if you're a Muslim, look how they try to say, well, Barack Obama's a Muslim. Well, what the fuck was that supposed to mean? Why are you saying that? Why are you even bringing that up? because you think poorly of Muslims, because you think that they're all out to get us, because you think that they're all terrorists, because you think they're going to support terrorism. I mean, I think we're already treating religion like that.
Yeah, and let's be real. There's a lot of Christians out there that's supporting domestic terrorism right now.
Exactly.
And basing what they're doing on their religious beliefs and things of that nature. And I'm pretty sure the Nazis have religion. You know what I'm saying? It definitely wasn't Judaism, but you know what I'm saying? So, because hey, man, that's the danger of religion, man. And that's what people got to understand, man, is that when people start getting their firm moral beliefs and thinking they're standing on a moral background, it gets dangerous. And that's what we said at this country hundreds of years ago. Let's not base our government on that. So we're making decisions based on religion. Yeah. But all of a sudden we're saying, oh man, we need to put godliness back in. But let me hang up upside down flags supporting insurrections and stuff like that. Like what?
That's Christian-like.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that right now we're trying to, the equilibrium is off, trying to make things fair in our country when it comes to separating church and state, and religion is being brought into a lot of conversations that I don't even think should be brought into from a political standpoint if we're really truthful about being fair.